Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we are diving into the Honor X8b for an in-depth review. This phone was released a few weeks ago, and as mentioned in my previous video, Honor was part of Huawei before separating in 2020. Now, they're making waves in both the entry-level and flagship smartphone markets. And the Honor X8b is the king of entry-level smartphones. Watch the full video to find out why. So let's get started. Firstly, let's discuss the video editing feature. While it may not seem like a big deal, having it pre-installed on your phone is incredibly convenient. You no longer need to search for and download the best editing app for your needs. The editing feature of this phone are not just basic. There are tons of options in the menu to adjust your photos to your liking. Additionally, we have the watermark feature. This isn't your basic watermark. There are plenty of options to customize and add your name to it, with most allowing up to 13 characters. So this watermark feature is not available on other entry-level smartphones. The phone also offers a story feature, where you can take a sequence of videos or photos, and the phone will render them for you. Now, let's talk about the always-on display feature. This feature is not basic. You already have pre-installed choices for your lock screen. If that's not enough for you, head to the theme app and you can download more always-on display scenes. You can also download live wallpapers, regular wallpapers, textiles, themes, and magazine unlock, where every time you turn on your screen, you're greeted with a different wallpapers, with options to choose what type of images you want to see. The phone boasts an AMOLED display with a 90Hz refresh rate and a 1080p resolution. If you love watching movies on your phone, this phone won't disappoint you. It provides excellent contrast and color saturation. One thing to note is that when testing the FM radio app, the phone did not accept my USB-C wired earbuds, displaying an incorrect port message. To save yourself the headache, use Bluetooth headphones or earbuds instead. During a video call via Facebook, we have noticed that the camera brightened up the image when it detected my face, and dimmed it when it didn't. In terms of browsing and navigation, it's smooth thanks to its 90Hz refresh rate display. Swiping the edge of the phone takes you to the previous page, similar to the iPhones. Swiping and holding opens your sidebar, which you can customize. Now let's talk about gaming. The phone is equipped with Snapdragon 680 paired with 8GB of RAM and a whopping 512GB of storage. We tested playing Mobile Legends at its highest graphics settings, which was super on frame rates and ultra on graphic settings. We didn't encounter any frame drops or lag, but we've noticed an increase in temperature. Next, we played Call of Duty Mobile with very high graphics settings and medium frame rates. The experience was smooth with no lag or frame drops, but we also experienced an increase in temperature. Then PUBG Mobile with graphics settings set to smooth and power savings on frame rates. The experience was smooth, but we noticed an increase in temperature again, even though the graphics settings was set to its lowest. Lastly, with Firelight. Before we go into the gaming test result, knocking your screen with two knuckles will turn on your screen recording. and you can do this anywhere, whether you are gaming or on your home screen. Moving on to the graphic settings of HD, high on frame rates and high on resolution, we did encounter lag and frame drops occasionally, but it didn't affect the overall gaming experience. Now let's move on to the camera test. The phone is equipped with 108 megapixels main camera, a 5 megapixels ultra wide, and a 2 megapixels macro lens. The color is on point in our food shot, though the second sample is somewhat blurry only because this is one of the features you have when taking photos. In the next sample, the yellow color highlighted has a slight saturation, but overall, the photo is good. Capturing photos of moving subjects surprisingly resulted in minimal blurriness, as highlighted in this photo. It also provides good contrast in this sample. Most entry-level smartphones would have difficulty taking clear images behind a window, but this phone didn't struggle at all. Every take we made gave the same results. Taking photos with multiple colors. The images provides good contrast, color are not overly saturated, and the shadows were perfectly represented in this photo. In our outdoor photo, it's quite impressive for an entry-level smartphone, as you can still see what's behind the window glass. The shadows and contrast, as you can see in the other circle, are well balanced. In this sample, the colors are just well saturated, unlike other phones that tends to saturate the grass and leaves. This phone also manages to control the saturation with some blurry effect on the background. Now let's talk about the portrait mode. The bokeh effect is a bit aggressive, and if you want better control over the blurry effect, we suggest using the aperture mode. At dusk, normally this is where photo starts to get noisy and grainy, but with this test, it's barely noticeable unless you look for it. Now, testing the night mode. The photo is quite impressive again, even when taking in high resolution mode. And just a side note guys, high resolution is your 108 megapixel shots. In this test, it's just a matter of preferences. Both gives excellent photos under the entry-level smartphone segments. In our next sample, taking a photo with no focus somehow brightens the images. Focusing your shots tends to darken the scene, but the photo with the focused shot is a more accurate scene than the brighter one. This may not be the best image, but it's way better than other entry-level smartphones out there. With this scenario, those phones will not be able to capture this kind of quality. In fact, photos will be too noisy and grainy. For taking selfies, we have the 50 megapixels camera. There are no issues here. The skin tone is good, and with a bright background, the photo is still decent. It's not the sharpest, but it gets the job done. Taking videos using the front-facing camera in a dimmed environment towards natural light. I've never seen an entry-level smartphone handle this scenario quite well. The way it adjusted the white balance is quite subtle. Now, what about at night? As expected, there will be noise in the video, but it's less than what we expected. Other phones tends to be pixelated and unusable, but this one is downright impressive. In another test, once you find the right angle, you will get a clear video. Taking videos using the rear camera with a gimbal and stabilizer. When you move left or right, you will notice blurriness in the video, only because the recording capability is limited to 30 frames per second. But overall, The quality of the video is okay. But in this next example, it's downright impressive. The color and saturation are on point, the image is sharp, and you have that blurry effect in the background. It's like you are taking shots for Nat Geo or Discovery Channel. And at night, it's not the sharpest, but it's not the noisiest video either. Without the gimbal and stabilizer, the video tends to be shaky. For now, the Honor X8b reigns as the king of entry-level smartphones. I particularly appreciate its ergonomic design. It's not too wide compared to other smartphones. The leather back gives off an impression of sophistication. However, I wish they hadn't followed the camera layout from iPhone, as this phone could have its own identity. The phone is priced at 12,999 pesos. While this may seem pricey for an entry-level smartphone, I guarantee you won't regret buying it. The Honor X8b checks all the boxes for the smartphone that you are looking for.